In this section, we are going to discuss the things that we can do to avoid unwanted behaviors. That is, um, the actions that we can take before disruptive behaviors take place. And in this way, we can run a harmonious class. We always say that the methodological area is the area in which you can take control. And we always suggest that you have an actual plan. What is to have an actual plan? It is to have things in mind that really work. There are things that work for every class. For example, you should always plan active, interesting, and well sequenced classes. What does this mean? That your activities should follow students' interests, that one activity should run smoothly into the other, and so on. You should always give clear, specific instructions so that students do not get lost in the middle and do not start asking questions distracting the whole class. We recommend that you set the purpose of the class and the purpose of your activities before starting so that students know what they are going to do and why they are going to do it. You should always make a plan for transitions from passing from one activity to the other because this is the moment in which sometimes students get disrupted because they are moving from one stage to the other. That is why we also insist in smooth transitions. If you have long tasks, you should try to divide them into shorter tasks with clear, achievable outcomes so that you do not lose your students' attention. When we step into a classroom, we always respond to our students affectively. We suggest that you start as you mean to go. What does this mean? That you should not start as the good teacher and then become firm. You might be firm from the beginning and then you'll have more time to be flexible. You should praise rather than blame. You should prioritize success and make students feel it. Don't raise your voice unnecessarily. Just try to use a firm tone of voice. Present a trusting image to your students. Let them know that you are fair, that you are demanding, but not inflexible, that when the time comes, you will be there and you will be able to discuss issues with them. Always be authentic and show your students that you really care for them. This is something that they immediately perceive. In this section, we are going to discuss our potential reactions to disruptive behaviors. We suggest that you use prearranged signals sometimes. When the student's behavior is not acceptable, you can resort to gesturing or to hand motions that are prearranged with your students, and thus you are giving them a signal that things are not working on well. This is a strategy that you can introduce in the beginning of the school year. We also recommend that you use positive phrasing. The focus on this strategy is on positive behavior. Oftentimes, we tend to only focus on misbehaviors and call on them. However, positive phrasing is rephrasing our words to uplift the classroom. For example, when you say, "Okay, class, if you all finish your work, we will be able to go outside to enjoy some fresh air," versus this other phrase, "Okay, class, if you do not finish your work, there will be no free time outside." Words are a very powerful tool. It's also useful to redirect the student's behavior. What does this mean? That you can find opportunities for the student to be helpful, that is, keeping the student busy. If you notice that a student is coming in cranky and you are sure he is going to cause behavior issues, well, you can make sure the student is involved in classroom participation by making him or her helpful. Another tip is to ignore the behavior when it is something mild, and then students forget about that and the class goes on. When it is something specific or particular that is causing disruption, maybe you can just eliminate the stimulus and things will get back on track. We suggest that when something happens in class, you remain calm and be firm. You should also talk things through privately and never in front of the whole class. And when the incident becomes more serious, maybe you can record it formally, discussing it with the institution.